right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to From the Beach to the Bar. This is our monthly, bi-monthly podcast. It's me, Ben Natick, of Natick and Matsuda Injury Law. To my right is the lovely Jess Matsuda with his purple eyebrows. And to his right is Sage Lopez, the hostess with the mostest. Today we're doing a hot seat. That's why I look red. I'm not overly tan or anything like that. And we're in the standing room. And you know, if there's standing room, I'm not wearing a suit. I don't know why, it just happens that way. All right, so what the fuck does hot seat mean?
All right, so I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to tell you a scenario, and then Ben and I are going to go over some follow-up questions for you to answer. So it's coming hot now. Summer's coming up. So prompt number 1, client rear-ends someone after blacking out in traffic. No AC, claims heat exhaustion. Is this a legit claim or just dumb planning?
Trick question, because that guy wouldn't be my client because he's at fault.
Go.
Shouldn't they have pulled over?
It's a cardigan. Thanks for asking.
I got it.
McFly got it too. Don't you worry about that.
Can a heat stroke be negligence?
I mean, here's the thing. There's no, like, if you're in an accident, by definition, it's an accident. There's no intent. So if you rear end somebody, you're going to be at fault. Whether it was a heat stroke, whether you had a seizure, you still potentially injured somebody else. So yes, in that situation, irrespective of how it happened, you're going to be at fault.
You arguing this or passing?
Well, he kind of already.
Yeah.
He said pass. He said it wouldn't be my client.
It's a hard pass.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, cheers.
Tag.
So I'm going to ask him this one.
Let's fucking do it, bro.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. A teen faints on hot sidewalk, fractures wrist. Parents want to sue the city for no shade structures.
You in?
Are you in?
No. Although, wasn't there a lawsuit with City Center about the Mandarin Hotel? How their yellow...
Why's it got to be yellow if it's Mandarin, dude?
The Mandarin Hotel was yellow shaded, their windows, and the sun was reflecting off of it so bad that people were actually getting 3rd, 4th degree burns.
There's no such thing as a 4th degree burn, sir.
2nd, 3rd degree.
Google that shit all you want.
I will.
Ask Siri.
I just learned about burns.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn about burns?
That there's no 4th fucking degree burns.
Yeah.
That's what she learned.
There's 3.
Burns in the 4th degree.
1st, 2nd, 3rd.
Clearly, ladies and gentlemen, this is the pretty member of our firm, in case you're wondering.
Yes, he's the
But
one.
no, I would not, because I mean, what are you gonna sue?
So how do you prove he caused it?
Well,
if you were to take it.
1, I wouldn't take it, but 2, if I did take it.
Does the city have a duty to provide shade structures?
I guess it depends on the setting, where it's located, but generally no.
Look at the camera.
Generally no. I wouldn't think so. Because, I mean, who are you going to sue for the sun being too hot in Vegas or Arizona? Like, I
Could this possibly be a winnable case?
No.
If there's a crack on the sidewalk, maybe.
Well, he cracked the sidewalk and he tripped.
Crack on the sidewalk, he tripped, and then he fractured his wrist. Yeah, maybe the city's liable for that. But
and there was knowledge of the crack.
Because the sun was too bright and he just fell over?
Well, you got, heat exhaustion. What if he passed out?
You should have drank more water. I would not take the case, no.
Okay.
Short answer.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
No, but look that Mandarin case over. This is a legit lawsuit. It's a legit lawsuit.
I was fine until you said 4th degree burns.
I mean, you kind of already answered this one, but it has
Girl,
a little
you're
bit
low
more
energy.
concept.
Bring it up. Bring it up. Come on.
I haven't answered
Come on,
yet.
Sage.
Damn.
Shots.
Hold on. Jeez.
Sage.
Go, girl.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, I got you. So a
I need some
delivery
Bobby
driver
Shmurda music.
You can tell me no, and then you're gonna interrupt me while I'm talking.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Go.
So a delivery driver crashes after blacking out from heat exhaustion. They've been working 10-hour shift in 110-degree heat with no AC or brakes. They want to sue the company
Or
for
brakes.
unsafe.
Or brakes, damn.
All gas, no brakes.
Damn.
They want to sue
No
the
AC, no
company
brakes.
for unsafe working conditions. Do you take the case?
Fuck yes. Yeah, I mean, this is the Amazon case because Amazon, I think, got in trouble for this. They were having their drivers drive, and they have them all on location. And I could be wrong. It could be UPS, but it's one of them. But yeah, they had no AC, and these poor bastards are driving around. In Vegas and Arizona and Phoenix, it's got to be about 110 outside. So think about inside the car in that situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a hostile work environment at a minimum. They have prior knowledge. The heat is also, prior knowledge as well. I take that suit all day.
Would this be a workers' comp claim or a personal injury claim or both?
I think both. I don't even think it's workers' comp necessarily. I think it's more employment law than workers' comp.
How would it be personal injury?
Well, personal injury, because if you pass out while you're driving in that situation and you get in an accident, you get injured, that's due to the company's negligence. It's not, in the course or scope of your work.
How do you prove the company knew it was unsafe?
Fucking by common sense. I mean, it's not like Alaska. We're in a situation where, these people are working in 110, 120 degree temperatures. They're going to get hot. I had a case with a company, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but it was a delivery company, and that driver had to drive with the door open. He got T-boned, but his door was open because it was so hot, and admittedly, he didn't have a seatbelt on. That fucker on video, you just see him fly out of the car. It was nuts. And then he got run over by his own car.
Oh my God.
We got him paid.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Do long hours plus heat equal liability?
Long hours plus heat plus no recognition or, attempt to alleviate that heat definitely leads to liability.
Would you bring in OSHA or stick it with the civil?
Fucking OSHA, I can't even spell that.
OSHA.
799er?
Yeah.
This is a niner?
No, that would 100% just be civil law. OSHA is a government entity. They would come in and investigate on their own.
Okay. So you wouldn't have to bring anybody else besides the government?
Well, I wouldn't.
Well, I'm not the government,
Yeah, I would sue them, under a couple of different theories, but yeah.
Could this open the door for more heat-related labor claims?
Except in Florida, because Ron DeSantis has decided to legislate against that. But yes, in the state of Nevada, in Arizona, yes, you could. There are heat-related issues that you could sue about.
Okay, these are some follow-up questions, so both of you guys can answer these. If it's Amazon Flex, are they even considered Amazon employees?
Well, Amazon uses this argument that even their own drivers are 1099 employees. They're independent contractors through another company. Which is bullshit, but that's a whole different area of law. But Amazon Flex drivers are in their own cars. So in that situation, if you're in your own car and you don't have AC, that's kind of on you. So it's going to be a harder, path.
Is that what a flex? I never knew what.
Daisy actually used to do that. Like when she first started.
So it's basically like Uber Eats. You're just driving your own vehicle, delivering packages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before Daisy started getting paid.
All right, Jess, I'll ask you this, if you would know.
I know everything.
Would you argue lack of safety policy or failure to enforce it?
On what?
For the whole prompt of them being like no AC in the trucks.
Well, it depends if a company has notice, and it's hard it's easy because it's Vegas or Arizona. Historically, Vegas and Arizona have been very hot. So if they're not providing AC, if it's a company vehicle and their AC is broken and they know it's broken.
Or they just don't have it.
Yes. And they don't do anything to correct that? Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And then Ben, I'm going to ask you, what if somebody's in the back of an Uber and the driver's refusing to turn on the AC to save gas? Passenger faints. Is the driver or Uber held liable?
I mean, look, if you had a heat stroke, I guess you could make an argument. I mean, that guy's definitely got a 1-star review coming his way.
It's like Hot Pocket.
Oh, no. That's bad. Hot Pocket is a joke about a kid who died inside of a hot car. It was terrible, terrible, terrible thing.
He was left in there. He had myotonic dystrophy where you can't
you don't have the strength to open up a door. He was left in the back seat, I think, of a family vehicle after church. He was in his Sunday best, and he had fluids coming out of every orifice.
Yeah, you know when you like microwave a hot pocket in it and it kind of
It blows
explodes
up.
and the fluid
Yeah.
comes out? Yeah, that was the kid. It was gross.
Yeah.
That one stays with you.
Yeah.
That was like 20 years ago. It's still in my head.
We joke because we have to.
Yeah, because otherwise. Hey, thanks for the musical prop there.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Uh-huh.
I just made the most astonishing statement ever in my career, and the music came on. So
Okay, we can switch.
oh, cheers. Love you.
Love you more.
Prove it.
All right, going into a little bit about some day club pool season.
Oh, shut up.
So there's a tipsy client near a hotel pool, no signage, barefoot. Hotel denies liability. Are you taking this case?
Barefoot
that's
by
what I
the
do with this, but-
pool.
No signage.
No
So
signage.
there's no
Slips.
signage. Slips barefoot.
Oh, 100. 100 is the kid suing,
Hotel
100.
denies liability. Are you taking the
Oh,
case?
yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I mean, like, it's hard to say no signage because every fucking pool in Vegas
Yeah.
has signage.
Yeah.
Phoenix, like,
Hypothetically speaking, if
yeah.
one of the bigger properties,
Yeah, there you go.
their little beach club, day club things, and they have no
Somebody- yeah.
signage, hard to believe. But if they didn't, 100%, 1,000%, you're taking that case. Because a company like that, knowing that they're inviting all these people over to their establishment, and they don't have the proper notices,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're taking that. If someone slips and falls and gets injured on their property,
How
What if
about-
they're wasted?
Yeah.
well, then you have an argument for, they contributed to their own negligence, but you still sue. 1,000%, you still take that case.
Would you go after the bartender?
No, I mean, in personal injury in civil cases, you always go after the deep pockets. I'm not saying the bartender's a millionaire back there slinging drinks, but you're going after MGM, you're going after Wynn, you're going after Bellagio because they have the deeper pockets. They're the property owners of that establishment. So you're not going after the single bartender that may have overserved, I guess that's your question,
Yeah.
overserved.
And the
Yeah.
reason you don't go
Overserving.
after the bartender is because in the state of Nevada, there is no dram shop law.
Yeah.
And what a dram shop is that says in other states, Arizona actually does have a dram shop law. If you overserve somebody, you can be liable for whatever actions happen to that person. Say they drive, kill a bunch of people, you could theoretically be on the hook for it. Nevada, because we have so many casinos, there is no dram shop law. There is no liability ascribed to bartenders in that situation. So Phoenix, probably go after the bartender. Vegas, not going to happen.
Yeah. But again, if you're not going to go just after the bartender. You're
Oh,
going
yeah,
after
no.
the property. You're
Yeah,
going
yeah,
after
yeah, yeah.
whoever hosted the event. You're going after the deeper pockets. You're not going after some bartender that's just working.
Do you know anybody that's won a case like this?
A slip and fall at a casino.
Slip and fall at casino, yes.
yeah.
Slip and fall at a casino pool.
Pool? I'm
I
not
don't-
sure.
I mean, nothing like substantial.
Yeah. And not saying it's never happened before, but
Yeah.
personally, I don't know of any
Yeah, I've never taken one.
attorneys. But we've done. You've done slip and falls at casinos before.
Yeah.
Where clients have slipped on various items on the casino floor, tore their ACL or whatever it may be. But
Eat
yeah.
shit down an escalator.
Oh,
Oh
really?
yeah. Ooh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That old guy was messed
Tore
up.
up the knee.
Ooh, that's probably one of my worst fears. I ain't even gonna lie. Falling down like an escalator.
It's not. All you have to do is stand there though.
Okay, Jess. All right, switch.
Got him.
Okay, kind of going off a little bit about Jess's. There's a drunk tourist pushed into a shallow pool, breaks leg, wants to sue friend and venue. Which do you go after first?
Wants to sue Fred in venue?
Friend.
Who's Fred?
I
Friend
know.
who pushed him.
What is Fred doing?
So it's a friend who pushed him.
Yes, friend pushed him into pool. He's drunk. He broke his leg.
It's a
He
friend
wants
of
to
a
sue his
millionaire?
friend and the venue.
Is the friend Elon Musk?
Would you go after both?
Yeah, but it'd be a lot sexier if like somebody he didn't know bumped him in or something like that. But yeah, like there's negligent security. They, hotel should know or knew that drunk patrons are going to roughhouse, and so they should be on notice that they got to watch for
And
that.
if you're suing your friend, you're a dick.
I don't know, man. If your friend broke his leg because you pushed him, maybe.
That's a good story. That's not, I'm going to sue you. That's like, hey, remember the time you broke my leg because you threw me in the pool? That's not I'm going to sue you for fucking everything. No?
I mean, it depends how good of a friend they are.
I remember I hit you in the nuts at a bar once and you wanted to murder me.
Yeah, I wasn't going to sue you, though.
What, if they were setting something up?
Ooh, then we're discussing fraud.
Yeah. Do I know about that? Because if I know about it, I'm definitely not touching it.
Well, what if they landed on somebody else? Would that change the case?
I would definitely want the person they landed on if they got hurt. Because then I'd definitely sue the casino, sue those two idiots. Yeah.
And that would go along with like horseplay and stuff. Does the casino?
I don't necessarily think that horseplay is something you can waive liability for. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, and that's why they're so kind of diligent in that area. Like, you know, if people are messing around and it causes you to be hurt, casino's definitely going to be on the hook for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you argue lack of warnings for those?
No, you don't argue lack of warnings. You don't even. They can argue that you waived your right by entering their pool, but you don't really waive the right to be protected against injury because the hotel isn't doing their job of policing their guests.
Yeah, and there's a big misconception about waivers. If you sign a waiver, you're waiving all liability. That's not necessarily true. It's foreseeable acts. But you got to think the beach clubs wherever this happened, they have to be on notice that there's a lot of horseplay, there's a lot of drinks involved, there's a lot of chaos going on at these day clubs. So it puts them on notice that there's a lot of shenanigans basically that's going on, and they should have the proper security to, kind of monitor what's going on.
And I mean, I'm just saying, like in our other line of work as criminal attorneys, we can tell you at most of the day clubs, we see clients who are involved in a certain line of work. Well, two specific certain lines of work involving women and we'll call it snow.
Yes, or OTPHJs.
Yes. So yeah, the day clubs are filled with a certain clientele of ours. That's why I would never be at a day club.
Yep. I go to church. That's all I do. That's a good question.
I would sue the shit out of the DJ because those fuckers.
Because the DJs are he probably has some money. I would personally sue the DJ, and then you sue the casino or whatever property they're on.
Yeah, crowd surfing is not like a foreseeable event. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Could it be though?
No.
Could it be?
No. It's clearly negligent act, sir.
Really? At a concert?
You've
never
got-
seen people.
What if
crowd
Jelly
surf?
Roll jumps in the crowd?
Okay,
man?
Jelly Roll or who's the other one?
Yeah, Lizzo.
Teddy Swims. Teddy Swims.
Teddy
Or
Swims
Lizzo.
isn't big, is he?
No, Teddy Swims is big, right? Teddy Swims is big, right? Those are the guys that I get mixed up. Jelly Roll and Teddy Swims because they're both big.
But
They're both big
Jelly
bigs.
Roll's actually losing a lot of weight.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
lost
but he's
200
still-
pounds,
yeah.
but he's still 300
If
pounds.
you're if you're 200 pounds and you're 300 pounds, you're still kind of big. But I don't know.
No,
you
man.
go to a concert, you kind of expect to see some
man.
crowd surfing.
No, is that like a girl
No.
should be subjected to getting like a guy grabbing her crotch when she
Whoa,
crowd surfs?
whoa, what,
Like,
what?
There's no expectation that
Don't
when you.
look at me, that's your friend.
Yeah, I don't know the guy. I just met him on Tinder,
Oh gosh.
Grinder.
No, so like going off of that a little bit, because there's a lot of they bring people on stage, and what if like they
Yeah,
fall
Sage
off the
says that because
stage?
she was brought on stage
No.
at like a Bieber concert.
Oh my
Oh, no
gosh,
shit,
no,
did you
it's
kiss
actually
Justin
Ariana
Bieber?
Grande.
Ariana Grande.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love Ariana.
Yeah. But anyways, going off of that, like
I love
if
Ariana.
you get brought on stage and you fall,
You sue the shit out.
Yeah.
and going off after the venue,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
would you
sue
go
the
after the
venue, and
artist?
You sue the artist. You sue
And
the promotion company.
that's why you don't see a lot of fan
People trying to bring-
interactions
That makes
on
sense.
those stages is because there's so much liability. If someone gets hurt, they're gonna sue the shit out of the concert venue. They're gonna sue the entertainer. They're gonna sue everyone.
That's so funny because when they do get on stage, like they tackle the fuck out of them, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
would they be liable for that?
No.
If you get hurt while they tackle you?
No,
though?
because that's defense of others. So that's a different argument.
Okay.
See, when you have somebody who jumps on stage who's not invited on stage, there's a difference.
Okay.
And the jumping on stage means that you could potentially attack somebody. So security is well within their rights. Admittedly, like they can't like crank your arm and bust it or something like that. But
Yeah.
if they tackle you and immobilize you, totally within their rights because it's a defense of others argument.
Okay. All right.
Still
you guys
sue 'em,
can
though.
switch. All
We
right.
should switch clothes
This is
too.
funny.
I just saw that. Teddy Swims. There's a poster right there. Next question.
All right. Ready? So a client gets second-degree burns from metal pool chairs.
Not fourth degree. Second
Wants
degree.
to sue. No warning signs. Would you take this case?
He got second degree burns on what?
From a metal pool chair. Wants to sue.
Ooh.
No warning
Oh yeah,
signs.
definitely. Again, this isn't a world where there's no warning
Yeah,
signs and
hypothetically.
casinos and pools in Vegas.
I don't know, man. Like, do you really have warning signs for hot chair?
Ooh, I don't think so. Maybe
Like
floor.
like McDonald's hot coffee.
I think they do like floor. I don't know if they do chairs.
I guess you're right. I just imagine these day clubs will have notices for every possible scenario. But you're right. I don't think they have notices for a hot chair if it's August in Vegas and it's 120 out, and the metal chair you sit on just burns you.
Plus, I doubt that there's metal chairs, but
Well, if there's no notice, yeah, I would definitely take the case.
I do.
So if the scenario happened at an Airbnb, or what's the other one called? Verbo. That's a great question, but yes, I would take the case.
It's like
I would sue.
There was a pause there.
I had to think about my answer.
it was
Brain
a
clicked
But
little.
yeah, I would sue Airbnb. I would sue the host. They probably have home insurance that you can go at. Definitely, yeah. If they don't have an adequate warning, yeah, I would. Ben,
I don't know. There'd have to be like some scarring, I think. It was just a second degree burn, which is a sunburn essentially. Like, I'd be like, meh. But if there was some scarring,
what if you're from Ireland and you have red hair and you're pasty white?
then you probably would have some scarring.
So you're saying that the color of your skin would determine whether or not you're going to take the case? Racist.
Yes. Yes, I am. I'm not talking about the content of their character, sir.
That's not what
Clock
your
it.
country can do.
It's
For you?
from MLK's speech, you
Oh.
dickhead.
Yeah, you wouldn't know, huh, Jess?
Fuck, you're pretty.
Okay, you guys can switch.
Nice.
Just a little one. This is gonna be the last one of this one.
All right, go.
All right. A tourist from Florida gets into a car accident
go
while
from
visiting Vegas.
What?
They
She like
go
skipped
home.
over like 20.
No?
Yeah?
What do you mean? I've done everything. I'm
All right.
talking about. Let me start over.
Use your words.
Use your words. All right. A tourist from Florida gets into a car accident while visiting Vegas. They go home the next day but start feeling pain a week later. Should they call you or an attorney back home?
You ought to call an attorney where the accident occurred. You can call, theoretically, you could call an attorney in your home state and they could negotiate the case up until the point like you needed to litigate it. They could do that. But usually you want somebody who is familiar with the jurisdiction, understands the laws in the area, and can help you out. For instance, it changed recently, but in California, their minimum policy was $15,000. Okay, in Nevada, it's a $25,000 minimum policy. If somebody gets in an accident in Nevada with California policy, the California policy has to bump up to $25,000 in Nevada because that's the minimum that's required in the state. So if it's a California attorney who's handling it, they may not understand that it bumps up to 25 when you're in Nevada.
Yeah.
And so they might settle a case for 15,000 when 25,000 was on the table. That's one of the reasons why you want to hire somebody in the local area who knows the law, knows the limits, and can take care of you.
That's pretty good. Do you have any questions?
So what happens if you get injured in Vegas, you go back to Florida, a week later you're injured? Obviously I'm saying hire an attorney in Nevada who knows the law, but your treatment is going to have to happen in Florida because you live there. Realistically, you're not coming back to Nevada to treat. But we can take care of that too. That's not a problem.
Would you co-counsel with the Florida attorney, or would you only have one
Typically,
attorney?
What happens is if it goes to litigation, what they'll do is they will negotiate a fee agreement with the local attorney, and then that attorney will handle the case in litigation.
What's the biggest mistake a tourist makes after an accident here?
Hiring.
Imagine posted that one. Oh my god.
I have no issue with that. You can post it all you want.
So what's the biggest mistake an
Tourist.
out-of-state tourist has when they come to the state getting injured? Well, I think you guys summed it up the best. Usually what happens is the worst thing they can do is, A, not document the injury. So like say you're at a casino, you get an injury, you want to generate an incident report. If you're in an accident on the freeway, you want an accident report from the police. So you want to document that. But the second thing you do is say you go back to your home state and you don't treat. Okay? Well, if you don't treat, it's hard to help you out. And so you got to go back, you got to go to the doctor, you got to do those things. And once you do, we can take care of you.
All right, Jess, I'm going to ask you, what kind of communication and case management is needed for out-of-state clients?
Well, communication is huge because if they're out of state, they're going to go to wherever they're going for their pain management, their chiros, their PTs, their doctors, whatever they need. So whoever they're going to has to have a good relationship with us or communication with us. If we're dealing with an outside attorney, hopefully they know where they're sending the client and they have a good communication with our office, so we can kind of facilitate that treatment, the care that our clients need. But yeah, that's the main thing, is just communication with the attorney in Florida or the client and making sure that they're getting the help that they need, seeing their doctors, seeing the pain management, the chiros, because the most important thing is to get them better, and then put money in their pocket because of what happened.
And one of the things is we have access to a national, for lack of a better term, referral network. We find out, what state people are in. There's a company that will say, okay, let's hook you up with these people, and we don't tell our clients you have to go here, but we give them suggestions. We'll say like, hey, we know some people in your area who might work with you. And so we, try to send them there so that those people can treat them who are well-versed in personal injury. You're not necessarily going to your general practitioner he's trying to figure out how to keep your bills low because the insurance company isn't going to pay him. Whereas he's not necessarily focused on treatment, he's focused on how do I communicate with the insurance company. Whereas most of the people that we're involved with, they're focused on making sure you get better. We'll worry about the cost later. We focus on you being better. We're not trying to minimize so the insurance company pays us. We're trying to get you better. So in a situation, say a tourist is out of town, they rented on Turo or Enterprise or whoever, rented a car, they still have to have insurance. Be it their personal insurance, be it the insurance that is provided by whatever credit card they use to book the rental car, or if they bought the rental car insurance anyways. Everybody has to have insurance while driving. If they don't, it's a crime. And so if a tourist comes to town and they're driving and you get in an accident, you are entitled to make a claim against whatever insurance they have. If not, all the insurances they have.
So their insurance that they get here, Nevada provides the 25.
Well, not Nevada. It's like if you go through Enterprise.
Well,
I use Enterprise because I used to work for them way back in the day. But, they are self-insured, so they will have a policy that's, a minimum of $25,000. You pay the $25 a day, and you get it. So Enterprise is paying that insurance. Sometimes it does because they like to mess with you and say, oh, you're supposed to go to the primary insurance and then our insurance, but it's our job to fight through all that. Every insurance company, especially the higher the policy limit, the more obstacles they're going to throw in your way. So it's our job to get over those obstacles or get through them.
Yeah, I've noticed insurance companies, if they have high policy limits, they don't like to get back to you very quick.
No. And they're always asking for some piece of information they already have.
Yep.
But they say they don't, even though you sent it certified, return receipt, all that.
Yep.
They still didn't get it. Yeah. It's a little game they play.
Okay.
It be what it be.
You guys can switch.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All up in your ear too. Okay, Jess, ready? A
Born ready.
tourist gets a heat stroke hiking Red Rock with no water. They sue the tour company for not warning them.
Based on that question, if there's no warning and they got heat stroke, yes, I would definitely sue.
So
Only
The tour
because they
company.
had because they had a tour company.
Yeah, they have a tour company, and they're saying
We're not giving you water.
we're
fools."
not going to let you know that it's going to be fucking hot as shit up here, and you might have a heat stroke. I would definitely sue that tour company. Definitely.
So if you weren't doing a tour company, you just by yourself, you get up there and you pass out. You can't sue anybody and you get hurt.
That's something we call assuming the risk.
Correct.
If you're by yourself
Yeah.
and you're at Red Rock and it's 150 degrees in the summer in Vegas and you're hiking, I really don't know who you're gonna sue.
Who the fuck hikes at 110 degrees?
I don't know, man. Hiking's cool, but 150
You'd be
degrees.
surprised.
I don't know.
No, you're right. There are.
No,
You always,
There
I
are
mean, just in
people
the
out
past
there.
week, we've seen what they shut down Red Rock because I think they rescued a few people. in
wasn't
Red
that
Rock.
the fucking like 28 special needs kids though?
No, man. Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was, man. Or was that in Arizona?
I'm pretty sure it was Red Rock. They shut down Red Rock because
Well,
So
so
many
the
people
special
got-
needs kids, like, I hope that they gave the special needs kids water.
yes, yes.
Well, what if
But I thought they just shut it down because people were just getting rescued left and right. But I could be wrong.
But why are they getting rescued, Jessica?
I think because they didn't anticipate the heat being as hot as it was a couple weeks ago. Remember when we had that spike and it was like 90 out of nowhere? I think that's when it happened, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm usually never wrong, but I don't
what
know.
if they signed a waiver for the tour company?
So waivers are, I think we mentioned this before, waivers are kind of interesting.
Nonsense.
Yeah, because you're signing away certain negligent acts that may or may not be foreseeable. If you sign a waiver, you're not signing away any kind of liability that that company that has you sign that waiver is exposed to. So you have to look at the waiver, you get a copy of it, you see what exactly the wording is. But in and of itself, a waiver is not a catch-all to waive all liability for any negligent act that that company.
Yeah, I mean, if the
commit.
company's taking you to Red Rock and they're like, you got to at least mention water. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, if they said, like, hey, we're not providing you water, you should get water before you go on this hike, all right, that's probably good for the tour company. But if they're just like, yeah, dog.
Yeah. Hey, there's dangerous rocks here. You might see some mountain goats.
Yeah.
Don't touch the mountain goats. And they mentioned nothing about it's gonna be really hot. You should pack your own water. Yeah, they're gonna be liable. You can't
Maybe they
waive
just
that.
assume people.
A general liability waiver is not gonna waive every single thing.
Yeah.
So they'll be liable.
Nice. You guys can switch.
Can we touch heads?
We're almost done, y'all. Few more. Ready?
Go, girl, go.
Wow,
Take a shot,
we're almost
Sage.
done. A client skips treatment for 2 weeks to avoid tan lines from therapy tape. Now they want a full settlement.
We'll get it for them, and then we'll make fun of them. Look, I think I've said this over and over again. It's like fucking barking at the moon. It's your job to treat. It's always your job to treat. Treat. It's the second job. If you don't put in the work, we can't put in enough work to get you what you want. We can get you paid. We just can't get you paid to the level you want. Additionally, if you don't treat, you're not going to get better. So it's going to stay with you. I do have this conversation a few times a year with clients, and I tell them, like, look, I get it. It sucks. It's a lot of work, but it's up to you. And some clients, after we have that conversation, they say, nah, dog, I'm good. Cool. All right. You know, I explained to them that it might affect your settlement. Additionally, it's going to affect your health. But if that's okay with you and you're educated in that area, that's your choice. But if you don't want tan lines because of therapy tape, you're kind of an idiot.
And tan lines are kind of sexy, man. Like when you see a guy in a banana hammock and they have tan lines.
This is what I live with every day.
No. No.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong.
Would you tell the adjuster
Wrong.
anything
segment.
like that?
No, the adjusters know. Like, they're looking at the treatment records, so they'll see gaps. They'll see only went this number of times, things of that nature. Like, adjusters, the smart adjusters know how to read they know how to read medical records. They know how to read the demand, and
Yeah.
you know, those are the things you fight about. Anthony, I want to smack you from across the room. No, there's no such thing as overtreating. That is a word we hear all the time from insurance companies, is overtreating. There's no such thing. If you're hurt, you want to be treated to the level to where you get back to where you should be.
When you're dealing with insurance companies, they think every treatment is excessive and not necessary. So their favorite word is basically overtreatment.
Well, what's hilarious too is like if you have a gap, or if this person only did like 5 chiro sessions, but then if you do like 30 chiro sessions, they're like, oh, you overtreated it. And it's like, fuck you, what do you want?
Yeah.
You know, so.
That's a good point. They do that. All right, you guys can switch. It's kind of going to be off the same thing. Or you guys could stay. All right, Jess.
Oh, yeah.
A client goes to the doctor for a month. This says it's too hot to drive. Now blames you for a low settlement.
Well, that's tough.
Would you throw them under the bus?
No.
Would I throw? Wait, what's it?
Our client. Would you throw our client under
I would.
the bus?
One, I would never throw a client under the bus. Going back to the original question, though, it's very difficult to get a higher settlement or a settlement that client would want if they didn't treat, because we have to show the insurance company the damage that the other person caused.
And the pain and suffering.
Yes. So if the client's not treating in terms of going to PT or chiros or doctors or follow-ups with whatever pain management or the doctors are suggesting, we don't have evidence to show these insurance companies that you fucked up our client. This is what you owe. So we need our clients, and we highly suggest our clients go to the physical therapies, the chiro appointments, the doctor appointments, the follow-ups, because every time they go, it shows the insurance company, this is what you did to our client.
Yeah.
This is why you owe us money. This is why you owe our clients money, is because your negligent driver did this to our client. So if a client's upset about not getting a higher settlement because they didn't follow up with treatment, it's a hard position because we don't have anything to substantiate their claims of being injured if they don't follow up with their doctor's appointments.
And our girls are excellent at monitoring, whether our clients are going or not. And the girls will tell me, and also I'll call them. The girls will call the client and say like, hey, what's going on? What's the issue? We talk to our clients to understand what they're going through and where their head's at in terms of treatment and stuff like that. Like I said, we've had clients who said, I'm done. I'm better. I'm fine. All right, cool. You're better. You're fine. Your medical bills are about $5,000. It's a $50,000 policy. We'll probably get you 10, and that's chopped 3 ways. It's just, you educate your clients during the entire process, and your girls monitor your clients during the entire process, because that's our job. Have we had clients who said they're done, they feel better now, and then a month later they say, ooh, it hurts again, I'm gonna go back. All the time, all the flipping time. And yes, we hear about it from the insurance companies all the time. The adjusters love to point that out. But I mean, people are people. Like sometimes maybe you turn wrong and that pain comes back. You sleep on something, the pain comes back.
It's tough because we do see that a lot, and clients are, I'm better now, I'm going to stop treatment. And then the question posed was, what if the pain comes back and then they retreat? They can. It just makes the case a little bit more difficult because the adjuster's argument's going to be, we don't know what happened in that 30, 60 days you stopped. We don't know if you got hit by a bus. We don't know if you got into another accident. We don't know if you slipped and fell at work. So they can't attribute the pain and suffering that you had from the initial accident to something that may have occurred during this gap period. So it's very important that you keep with the schedule that the doctors and the chiros and the PTs suggest, because if there is a gap, the insurance company and their attorneys and their adjusters are going to point out, in this gap that your client didn't treat, we do not know what happened. That pain and suffering could have happened from something else, not from this accident. So that's why we always advise our clients to follow through with their treatment, their appointments, and whatever the pain management doctors are suggesting.
Yeah, and I mean, there are going to be times where people think they're done and they're not. you know, but it's our job as attorneys to be aware of that. And it's our job as attorneys to be able to advocate on behalf of those people too. Like, not every client is going to get it right away. They're going to be like, oh, I'm fine. And then all of a sudden, you know, maybe the swelling goes down and, you know, or maybe the swelling goes up. A nerve gets pinched because you stopped going to treatment. You know, you stopped getting your injections, which are anti-inflammatory, so they reduce the swelling. So then when the injection goes away, the swelling comes back, the pain comes back. There are things that happen during treatment that can make you feel better, and there are things that happen when you don't go to treatment that will make you relapse, for lack of a better term.
We actually had a client that ghosted us because we didn't know where she was, but she was actually incarcerated, and she got out, and then she wanted, and then she wanted to go back to treatment.
Yeah, that one was a little tough though.
Yeah.
She needed a lot of surgery. She had one surgery. She got arrested. She was in jail for 6 months. Couldn't track her down. And finally we tracked her down, and she was getting out of jail. And she's like, yeah, but I need X, Y, and Z. And it's like, girl, you've been in jail for 6 months. That one was a little tough.
Yeah.
Well, so if a client does have that claim where or the issue where they stop treating for 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it may be, and they come back and they say, hey, the pain came back, we want to retreat, we can also make an argument to the adjusters or the opposing counsel saying there was a gap, but they felt good enough to where they thought they didn't need the treatment again. However, because of the accident that they were involved in with your insured, the pain came back. So now they have to go to treatment again. It's a weaker argument, but we do still argue on behalf of our clients. We'll argue tooth and nail, trying to get the highest settlement we can for them. It's just difficult when they have that gap because we know the insurance company is going to argue that we don't know where this new injury is coming from, but we will still argue on their behalf saying, no, this is from the same incident, and we'll back that up with whatever evidence we can gather from our clients saying that they were not involved in a new accident, they did not slip and fall at some other place, and this injury is solely from the accident that your insured caused.
Actually, what I like to do is when a client comes back from 90 days and say the pain is, the first thing I do is talk to the doc. Say, okay, doc, explain this to me. You know, explain to me how they were fine 90 days later, they're not. Break it down to me. What treatment did they have? And how did it work? Yay. And how did it stop working? You know, and the docs are fairly smart. They actually went to school longer than we did. And so they're the ultimate, you know, answer to whenever somebody with a high school degree who's a flippin' insurance adjuster is telling me, the attorney and the doctor, why we're wrong. These people are involved in the medicine, and these are the people who are going to be up on the stand when we have a breakdown in settlement negotiations.
That's a better answer. Side note, have you ever seen Medicine Man?
No.
Sean Connery? Like they're
Oh, where he goes into like the fucking jungle or whatever?
Amazon, and they find a cure for cancer, and they can't find out which tree it was, and it turns out to be an ant. Nothing to do with the story. It's just a great movie. I just thought about it.
All right.
No, you don't? No? You don't know that movie?
Go ahead.
That's a great movie. Medicine Man. Sean Connery.
See, I told you. Let's say.
Yeah, these arguments are pre-litigation. If it does come up in litigation, in trial, in court, it would be the same arguments. But Ben is right. We would try at first to negotiate with the adjuster saying, this is the reason for the gap in treatment. We follow up with the doctor saying, hey, docs, back this up. What's the reason why that someone's injuries or pain would disappear and then reappear? And like Ben said, these guys are doctors. They've been to school for many years, and they can tell us why injuries can appear, go away, and then reappear. And if the adjusters don't buy that, then yeah, if it ends up in trial, we litigate it, and it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same arguments. She was injured through no fault of her own. She thought she was better. She wasn't. She went back for treatment. Our expert witness can testify to the fact that sometimes these pains go away and then they reappear. Still, through no fault of our client, you still caused this accident. So yeah.
And I'll let everybody know the dirty little secret is 90% of the trial, both sides know before the trial even happens. And what it is you'll have a deposition wherein you'll ask the doctor all these questions, and then opposing counsel will ask the doctor questions. You'll then, and that's the treating physician, then you'll have a deposition with your expert asking all these questions, and then opposing counsel will do the same. Then opposing counsel will have their expert to tell you why that doctor and that expert are full of shit. And so they'll ask questions, and then we depose and cross-examine them. And you get these transcripts for all these depositions. You have 90% of the trial before you start the trial. When it comes to the trial, it comes down to picking a jury, comes down to having a more solid story, and it comes down to relating to the jury better than the other side. Additionally, the likability of the plaintiff versus the defendant in terms of the actual clients factors in as well. And that's something you work on as well. But those arguments happen at every stage. And like I said, you'll get them with the adjuster, you'll get them with opposing counsel, you'll get them with opposing counsel's expert, and you'll just put it all in front of the jury. They'll glaze over and then say, I like that guy, I'm gonna give him a lot of money. Yes, have we ever lost the case because somebody stopped treating and they blamed it on somebody else? Yes, we have had situations where a case went to litigation, and no matter how much you prompt your clients to say X, Y, and Z, and we're not coaching them to lie, we're telling them, this is a better way of saying what you're trying to say. But sometimes you will have clients who are the smartest person in the room, and they let you know as soon as they take that stand and sit down and they give their version of events, because their version is going to be better and win the case more than anything you've ever done in your 20 years of doing this job. Fair?
20 years, you're old.
You're 18, fool.
I was gonna say no, I've never lost a case in my life. Defeated.
All right, I'm gonna ask you guys some questions. You have to answer fast, whatever comes to the top, like first thing, or I might
Cox.
make fun of
I
you.
got
do we
$100
start?
that says Sage doesn't ask fast.
Do we start?
Let-
I was gonna
go.
say Cox.
Go.
Cox.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm Cox.
Go.
Okay, if your law firm had a theme song, what would it be? Go.
Wow.
He-Man.
Oh my God.
The theme song for He-Man, dude.
I liked WAP.
Okay,
What the fuck is that?
Megan Thee Stallion, WAP.
He said wah. Wah.
Yeah.
I'm old, man.
It's
I get a
WAP.
pass.
I said He-Man. That was fucking older.
I don't even know what that is. I never even heard that song.
Bro.
Anyways,
No. Our theme song would be the Golden Girls.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for being a friend.
all right, ready?
I
If
like
you
that
weren't a
shit.
lawyer, what would you do right now?
If what?
If you weren't a lawyer, what would you be doing right now?
Oh, I'll be a fucking basketball player. NBA.
Stop thinking. You're supposed to answer.
I'm just digesting what Jess said. I'd be doing gay porn.
Yep.
Oh
No.
God.
I see that in you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
knew
see
these
that.
were coming.
Hey yo.
So, what's the firm's unofficial motto when no one's listening?
We fuck. No.
We should have
No.
had it.
I like
No.
that. No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
God damn it.
Fuck around and
I
find
like
out.
that shit. Fuck around, find
Fuck
out.
around and find out. Yep, that's true.
I like that.
Okay,
I like we fuck better.
what's your courtroom's guilty pleasure?
When you realize the other side fucks up and you just let them go. You just listen and watch it. And you're like, oh, I'm going
agree
to
with
eat you
that.
alive.
Yeah.
One time, I was like, hey, Jess, let me do it. And he's like, no.
No. One time we had to cross-examine an officer on the stand, and Ben's a little different from me, and he's a little bit more aggressive and in your face. Steroids. So he was like, let me talk to this officer. I was like, nope, I'm gonna cross this guy. But yeah, that's a good example because. Ooh.
All right, ready?
that
Who on the
fucking
team
guy.
is most likely to go viral for the wrong reason?
Wait.
Who on the
Between
team
us?
is more likely to go
Yes.
the team? That's all the
Like,
girls and all of us.
Everybody. Would most likely to go viral without or for the wrong reason.
Team.
Stop thinking first person.
No, I was thinking either Jess or Sage.
Well, I was gonna say Ceci or Russell. I don't know.
No.
Not Russell.
No. For like
You, because you like to get fucking drunk, take your hair down, and like go running down
Yes,
alleys.
it would be you.
I'm not. I don't know what you're guys talking
I
about.
could probably post junk videos.
Sage
of
would just
you.
probably like smack a bitch. That's what I was thinking.
Sage would smack a bitch.
Yeah.
Sage would. Yeah,
If I
you
was
would.
drinking, maybe.
Or sober.
It depends. It depends. Okay. All right. What's one thing the public gets totally wrong about PI attorneys?
That they're cool people.
Yeah. That's basically it. Yeah.
Well,
PI attorneys are terrible
Yeah.
human beings. They really
Yeah.
are. I like.
Like the guy's smiling on the billboards, like,
Yeah.
"Well, I'm here for you.
They're dicks.
We don't collect anything unless you win." I was like, "Yeah."
Like, and
dipshit,
obviously, I understand we're
that's-
PI attorneys, so I shouldn't say that. But yeah,
The guy's smiling on the
a
billboard
lot of these
saying,
guys are just
"We're here
dicks,
for
man.
you." Like that? No, they're not.
I love them, but dicks.
Everyone's there to make money.
Yeah, dicks.
I'm not gonna take more than you. That's what everyone does.
Yeah. Oh,
We're not gonna get paid until you do. Yeah, that's
you're not gonna
everyone
have to
does
pay
that.
them,
Yeah. So
dicks.
All right. Ready?
douche.
Who's most likely to forget court was scheduled that morning?
Oh,
Me.
bro. Yeah.
I think we all know
Ben.
that answer.
Yeah.
Me, because my secretary is
Yeah.
Sage, and she
Because
doesn't
courts
count her
will call
shit.
me saying, "Hey, are
that's
you
a
here for
lie.
Ben?" I'm like,
It's a big
"Yes."
Big fat lie. No. That's what case still lives in your head rent free?
Ooh, hot pocket. Or
Oh, no.
the vagina case, the 72-inch vagina.
Jess once did a sexual assault trial where there was a video screen of a teenage girl's vagina because she was sexually assaulted. And so Jess turned to the jury with a 72-inch screen, and there was a little itty-bitty scratch on her vagina on the side, we'll say right in the crack. And Jess goes
Nurse,
to the nurse, goes,
expert nurse.
This is not the actual size. And I realized 72-inch screen of this poor
It's a
16-year-old's vagina.
It's IMAX. It's an IMAX in the courtroom. That's what it was.
And Jess is like, this is not the actual size of her vagina.
Yeah.
The judge, who's a judge for like 30 years, actually giggled when he asked that
He might be a
question.
Supreme Court justice right now.
Yes.
But also, it wasn't the size of her vagina, and anything on an IMAX screen looks huge. I should go on there. I should be on IMAX movies.
As for me, I mean, I got a really short memory, thank God. One thing that makes me giggle, it doesn't really live rent free in my head, is one time, like, I was doing a PI trial, and the opposing counsel was trying to question liability, even though they already admitted liability. So I got to run up and tell the judge, "Hey, judge, he admitted to liability right here." And so the judge had to admonish the jury about how they've already admitted liability. And I just looked at that defense attorney and the look on his face, and it just made me smile.
All right, last one. What's one thing you wish every client knew before calling you?
That we have their best interests at heart.
How much they're loved.
Like, legit. Like, everybody's so suspicious. And I don't know if it's like bad prior experiences or if it's just like you don't know us or whatever, but we really do give a shit. Like, we're already rich. We don't need to get more rich off of you. We
I
just
agree.
like what we're doing.
I agree. It's people walk into, and rightfully so, you walk into an attorney's office and your radar's up, like, these guys are shady shit. But we do generally care about our clients. We do try to make sure that they get the help that they need in terms of treatment and getting you back on your feet. But we do have your best interests in mind. So that's our goal, is to get you fixed, get you paid. I think, that's the big
I will
misconception.
say that you guys are very good at fixing problems. When there is a problem with either the client complains about doctors or anything like that, I like that you guys are quick to jump on it right away to make sure they're being taken care of.
Jump on that dick. Oh.
If there was a problem, I'd solve it.
Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Revolves it.
Revolves it. Ice, ice, baby.
Ding 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 ding.
Oh my god.
Sage has no idea what's going on.
Nope. I was gonna earlier when he was talking about fuck, I can't remember. There was a song of something that he said, but you guys are too old that you guys wouldn't get it, and I was gonna repeat it, like how you
I
guys
already
just
said
did right
WAP,
now.
which apparently was
How
wrong.
are
No.
we too old to
Yeah.
know a song?
Yeah.
We know all the
No,
songs
it's
because
not
we're
like
old.
a song. It's like it's like a parody kind of.
Like Dick in a Box parody.
You realize
See,
that
you
was
don't
like
even know
20
that.
years
She
old.
doesn't even know what that is. But that's a parody. It's not a song. Wait, is it a song?
Dick in the Box is a song.
Dick in a Box is a great song.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was from the beach to the bar. This is our last April episode. We'll have one in early May. If it's April, Abril will probably get it out in July. But thank you guys for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. See you later.
Bye.